With constant developments in the marketplace, e-commerce merchants face a lot of challenges, particularly smaller sellers. I'm Marketing Sherpa reporter Courtney Eckerly here in the Marketing Sherpa Media Center at IRCE, and with me I have Steiner, who's the editor of EcommerceBytes. Welcome.
Hi, Courtney.
So what are some of the challenges that you've seen e-commerce sellers face?
Well, I think the biggest one that everybody has is how do you get traffic to your site, and then how do you convert them? The world is changing. Google is making things a little more difficult, especially for smaller sellers in terms of getting traffic. Google Shopping used to be a great way that merchants could send Google their feeds for free. Now it's a pay-to-play marketplace. So I think that shipping is another area where merchants are constantly trying to be more efficient. They're trying to save money. And again, another big internet powerhouse is making things challenging. Amazon with free shipping, and really the big retailers are also promoting free shipping. So for smaller sellers, they have some unique challenges.
Yeah, so what are some of the changes that you've seen on marketplaces like eBay, Amazon, Etsy?
You know, it's really interesting because Amazon is the one that everybody is concerned about. It's both an opportunity and a challenge. Amazon, you know, they were basically a first party, they were retail. And in about 2004, they started cherry picking eBay sellers to promote their third-party merchant program. And since then, it's been a wildly successful program for both sides. But it's also something that merchants have to struggle with, because I talked to one vendor in the exhibit hall today who said they talked to a retailer and they are completely off of Amazon because they felt that Amazon was selling their top selling products and competing with them. So that's an enormous change from the early days of the internet. The bigger guys weren't there in the early days. It was the small guys that really paved the way. You know, I talked to somebody who did a merchant, a provider who sells SEO services to merchants, and they said the three trends that they're seeing are personalization and video. And in terms of personalization, it is amazing how many tools there are out there now where you can customize the landing page so that when somebody comes to your site, you know where they've been and you can customize that, and that's an enormous change.
So when it comes to personalization and branding, what have you noticed smaller sellers utilizing and some tactics they've been using?
Well, that's a really great question, because everybody knows Google, Amazon, eBay. They know the big retailers who are going omni-channel now. And we were actually inspired by the Mad Men television program when their focus is it's a TV show about 60 Era's advertising agency. And it's all about the brand. And in the season finale, they had the Hilltop Coke ad. It's a classic ad. And we said, what is branding in e-commerce? Can a marketplace have a brand? Is Amazon a brand? So I talked to Bill Backer, who created that Coke commercial, and he said it's a lot about having the time to build a brand, that companies today won't do that. There's a sentimental connection. But then I talked to McCann's Hank Summey. He's the president of What Is McCann Now. And he said it's not what is a brand, it's what's the brand's promise. And if small retailers really want to think about branding themselves, they have to think about, when somebody comes to their site, what are they promising? What does that brand mean? And I think there's a real opportunity there for a lot of small sellers to, how can you fight against a giant like Amazon? Well, you can create your own brand. And Hank was telling me that people eat up those stories about both the products, the unique products, and about the seller themselves. It might be a small seller with a very interesting story. So I think that's something that people should pay attention to.
That is an interesting difference. I mean, a company like Amazon is so large, it loses a little bit of itself in a democratic sort of way to its customers, but a small business is still so in tune with its mission and how it's growing.
Right, and when you look at eBay and Amazon and Etsy, for instance, they each do have their brand, Amazon is very convenient. You can go there, you can put in a search for a very generic term. On eBay, you really are finding that shoppers are going and searching for a particular brand. I mean, how many people go to eBay and put in flashlight? You're going to go to Amazon. But if you're looking for a brand, you're like Pottery Barn, you might be like looking for some discount item or something on sale, you might go to eBay. And then in terms of Etsy's brand, Etsy's having growing pains. Can they scale? Somebody, an Etsy seller can only make so many products themselves if they're hand knitting or hand crocheting or whatever particular process they have. And so Etsy is changing their brand because they're opening it up to companies that actually get some assistance. So you might go and you might find a line of t-shirts where the t-shirt itself might be mass produced, but it's a unique design. And I think there's it's a really interesting time for Etsy.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to discuss that with us and sitting down with us.
Thanks, Courtney.
Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. If you would like more tips, tactics, and case studies, please visit MarketingSherpa.com.